Welcome to How We Grow, an essential playbook to grow and scale your vacation rental business with advice and insights from the best in the biz, with your host, Lynell Gordon. Welcome to the Vacation Rental Show. I'm Lynell Gordon, and I'm really excited today to bring two guests who are experts in the fields. Our theme for this episode is digital marketing trends, including AI, and what we need to care about for 2025. So I want to introduce Chad Elmore. We're going to start with Chad. And Chad has had a successful career leading digital marketing strategies for all size companies, everything from large national campaigns to hyper-local niche focus markets. He is currently the VP of Digital Marketing Services at Inhabit. Welcome, Chad. Thank you for being with me.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I'm excited.
I'm excited too. We also have Justin Dahl, and Justin is entering his 14th year with Streamline. He currently moved into a new role of product role. He has spent years in support and operations, working very closely with our property managers and our vendors. He's really excited about this new team and their upcoming efforts on the roadmap with a focus on innovation. So we have a brand new team focusing on innovation. Justin, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite and happy to share the space with Chad and you both.
Well, you're sharing it with really smart people. So let's talk about trends. And we'll start with you, Chad. What emerging digital marketing trends do you see and do you believe will have the most impact in vacation rental industry in 2025?
Absolutely. So let's just start with what we learned in 2024 about the vacation rental space and how that's going to influence next year. One of the things that we had to contend with the most this year that I think is going to really drive the strategy for next year, and I don't think it's going anywhere, is the customer's desire to have maximum flexibility with their booking. This was the year, I think 2024 was the year of, oh man, I'm going to wait to the very last minute to book. I'm going to flirt around with my different options and do my research and really try to understand what's going on in certain areas. But I may not be ready to book until, sometimes 24 and 48 hours before I'm ready to go. And this had been something that we'd seen in different pockets, in the past, but nothing like this in 2024. So I think as we think about the trends and how we think about content strategy and how we think about promotional strategy, it's really going to come down to how do we bring that flexibility in booking to the forefront? How do we communicate that? How do we have tools and products that bring those options and flexibility to the forefront? I think that's really what it's going to be all about. So whether we're talking about an email marketing campaign and how, quickly we can communicate availability or flexibility in booking or those types of things, all the way down to the social post that does the same thing or experience on site. I think 2025 is going to be the year of flexibility. I think that's the word I keep coming back to, and how we design those experiences around it.
We're going to talk about AI. Justin, tell me for yourself. We're talking about product. We're talking about innovation. What do you see for 2025 for property managers?
I think we're probably going to continue to see younger generations enter the market. I think understanding this audience and identifying how not to lose that personal touch or branding will be important. I look at it like, how do I cater to my mom and dad or the 65-year-old plus demographic while still trying to attract that next generation of guests who live on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram? So I think with respect to digital marketing 2025, I think we're going to see more personalized marketing or content that's dynamic and interactive. I think a lot of companies will probably start leaning heavy on AI to make sure that it's pushing them in those directions.
Let's talk about some of the specific things that you think that property managers should be doing for 2025, whether it's strategies for marketing or products that they might need, things that have changed that we really need for people to say, hey, pay attention to this that's happening. You guys go for it. And let's just have a conversation about what they need to think about for 2025.
Yeah, for me, it starts with thinking about what I'd mentioned about that flexibility or that last minute booking mentality, which kind of plays into what Justin was talking about, some of the younger demographic trends, wanting to have that flexibility in booking. It all really comes down to that hyperlocal content that you'd mentioned in my bio that I'd been a part of in the past. Surfacing those experiences that make your unique locations unique, and those really matter to guests that are going to make them want to book with you versus a competitor. If those experiences aren't present on your site, or if they can't be surfaced within a search result, or that SEO rich content is not part of what your direct booking website looks like today, that's going to be that investment, that time investment you make in creating those experiences where people can learn what events happen regularly in your area. Why should you choose this property over that property? If those experiences aren't there, that's a worthwhile digital marketing investment for 2025. That's going to be foundational to an AI experience that you layer over top of traffic that we drive to your site. That will pay so many dividends and really be the bedrock of a good marketing strategy. We'll talk a little bit about some of the AI solutions that have been surfacing around Inhabit, but a lot of those are built upon his ability to learn more about your location based on the content that's present on your website. So that's really going to be where I would spend my time.
What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I think a lot of the technologies that's surfacing is being used to target travelers and their trends. And I think it's a lot about ensuring that you're connecting with your guests at the right time. And these tools, right, AI and other tools that are coming up, they do a very good job at analyzing and interpreting behavior while they're on the site, right? So they can help with recommendations. And you have features that are always on 24/7 that don't have to be, manned by a live agent. So I think that's also very helpful. And then the personalized content will be very important depending on how it's delivered to those prospective guests. And I think the other thing that as you're using the data and AI to predict these trends and to connect with guests, making sure that you capture that data, right? We're seeing that third-party cookies are now going away. There's a lot more emphasis on the personal data protection. So I think we're going to get into a space where it's going to be a bit more challenging to get that data. So when you have it, make sure it's targeting and used appropriately.
We have some new things going on in Streamline. Can you tell me a little bit about the AI there that we're talking about, the new cool stuff there?
Yeah, absolutely. So just in the last few months, we rolled out a few different iterations of AI throughout Streamline. And we did so at our most recent Streamline Summit, which was a great success. But we released two additions or products into the system. One was a writing assistant. And this is a tool that uses data from the system that most companies it's already there. And it creates compelling and optimized descriptions for their listings. And ultimately, it saves our users a lot of time. And I think it contributes to some consistency in their marketing, right? Where you don't have one description that's 25 words and the next 2,500 words. So having some of that consistency in the branding and descriptions, I think will be helpful. And we have over 100 companies that are already turned it on and using it. And so it's been very successful. And the other thing that we released was a virtual assistant called Leo on Streamline websites. And really, this is a 24/7 virtual assistant that guides guests through the booking process and is aimed at conversions on your website. So another one of those always on unmanned agents for our companies.
That is really cool. I mean, I haven't heard that before. That is a really cool opportunity for property managers. Is that included in the Streamline platform?
Yeah, so the writing assistant, it was released. It's available for all companies today. We've kept it in a beta as we train and refine the models that are in the system, a way for us to learn and develop and adapt. So the writing assistant's a free tool that is available to everybody. And then the Leo, the online booking virtual assistant, is something that you connect with Streamline websites and they get it configured and set up for you, since every company's in a different geographic area. It may have some different tonal things they want to do or things they want to consider for their prompts.
Let's talk about writing content. So immediately what I think about is, oh my gosh, I have 1,000 properties. I have 1,000 descriptions. One of the hardest things we've ever had to do is go through each one and make sure they're different and unique so that they stand out. What kind of writing are we talking about? That kind of thing that could help with that?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's geared for. So We're seeing in the space right now, there's a lot of mergers and acquisitions happening where a lot of inventory is shifting from different PMs or maybe just new entrants to the marketplace. And it takes a lot of time to craft those really cool and elegant descriptions for the units. So we've trained a model that looks at all of your amenities and views and geographic location, and it's a one click and it generates you a very nice description. And then we also have given that same ability within that writing assistant to basically elaborate on that prompt. So you can say, I want you to emphasize this, right? Maybe I have a lighted pickleball court we just put in and it's a selling feature. I can say, put an emphasis on that within the description. And it does a very good job of like delivering that message along with the rest of the content. So it's great. You look at something that probably would take a person anywhere from, 30 minutes to 2 hours to do, and it's done in 1 minute. So you can imagine the time saving that it can afford our clients.
Not only that, but you know what I think of? I think of the fact that if we could use that, then every single year, I think about how Google, how they look at our content and how they rate us based on our content and how often we change it. And I think about the fact that we could actually use that since it doesn't take that long. We could change our content every year for all of our homes. We could redo it every year in just a few minutes and it would be different and unique.
Even seasonally.
Yeah, it just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I love the fact that we are so innovative at Inhabit. It makes me so happy. Chad, there's something new that you have too. I want you to tell me what we've got that's new with AI too.
Absolutely. So following a similar vein, we just recently launched Blue AI at Verma International. And really, it's a similar approach in that we're really trying to take some of the burden off of property managers when it comes to trying to figure out how to improve their website conversions and their direct bookings and their ability to really work smarter and not harder. Justin hit on some of that content piece. Where we have started is rolling out our Blue AI booking assistant, which does a very similar thing, sort of delivering those rental recommendations based on natural language prompts and simplifying those steps to booking and understanding what properties are available. What's great about these booking assistants that we're coming up with is that you can talk to them like regular people. And I think that's the game changer for us. So what we're super excited about is to say, yes, we have a booking assistant that's always on, that can talk to you, that people can interact with on an automated basis, but it still has that personal touch and will only sound and look more like you over time. And so that's what we're super excited about, what we've recently rolled out at the show. And this is something that you can work with your account manager on the Blue Tent side or account team lead to really get implemented or sign up for. We have a trial period where you can work with your team at Blue Tent to make sure that you feel super comfortable with how it sounds and how you interact with it, how it looks on your site. And then we can roll that out as part of your engagement with our team. So we're super excited about that. But again, it was important for us to have a solution that takes that magic that you've built years working on and built years to really cultivate and put that type of experience online. So that's the philosophy, at least behind what we're trying to do. We've all interacted with those chat bots that we hate. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about a generational leap forward. And what's also important is that it's specific to this space and built into your platform, right? It's not signing up for ChatGPT or going to Google Gemini and just copying and pasting from over here over to here. It's all there together, saving you time. That's another huge goal of ours as well. So that's what gets me excited about what we have.
Built by property managers for property managers, Streamline is a powerful software that gives managers enterprise-level capabilities to drive more revenue and improve operational efficiency. Migrating to Streamline allows property managers to gain functionality while reducing the need for multiple vendors, improving flow by logging into a single system and reducing redundant technology costs. With Streamline, property managers achieve revenue lifts by leveraging our fully fledged communication center, reservations quoting system, revenue management tools, homeowner acquisition CRM, and powerful direct OTA connections. Streamline also has industry-leading trust accounting and report capabilities to give you clarity in an overall company performance. Learn more about Streamline Vacation Rental software at streamlinevrs.com.
I'm excited, and I'm excited because we don't do sales pitches on this show. I never do. But I always love for people to come on and tell me the newest technology. And we're pretty agnostic, even though I'm a habit person, we're pretty agnostic about that. And so when I first heard about this, I was like, somebody has to come on the show and talk about it. And it's taken us like 4 or 5 months to get this all together. And in the meantime, there are so many people. There are a lot of platforms out there, guys, and there's a lot of promises that people make. And as property managers, I really relate to that because of my family. And most of my close friends are property managers. And I love the fact that we deliver and that these things are being delivered and they're being tested. Because, guys, if you don't have AI, if you don't have a platform that has AI right now, you are behind. And you're not just a little behind, you're a lot behind. So some of the platforms that you use either for marketing, for your property management system, or even if you have a third party, if you're not using any of these platforms, guys, you need to do that because number one is just what Chad said. It's going to save you money. And Justin, too, it's going to save you time and it's going to make your business more profitable and more productive. You're going to bring in more money. And it's phenomenal what it can do. I'm just going to give you an example. So I'm working for a nonprofit. And my husband has a nonprofit. So do I work for him? Yeah. Do I get paid? Well, let's don't go there. But it's still work. And being able to connect platforms now using the tools like you're offering, like Justin that you have and Chad that you're talking about, being able to connect these platforms. I sent a message to the support team. I said, can you do this for me? I have to connect this platform to this platform so we can work together. Like, I'm sorry, we can't do that. And in 15 minutes, I went online and I connected it. I'm telling you guys, you need to have some of these tools. And if you don't know what you don't know, give a call to Justin, give a call to Chad, let them explain to you what the newest, coolest, latest stuff is out there because it's there and you don't have to log into ChatGPT. This should be built into your platform. Justin, what else do you want to tell people to get ready for 2025?
Well, I think we're just beginning to see how AI can be effective in a number of ways. We've just been talking about it. Specifically, we've been mentioning the overall guest experience, right? That starts during or before that booking process, right? We talked about the Blue AI, Streamline's Leo, and they're helping convert guests by providing all of that kind of relevant information to get them there. We're also seeing PMs use AI to become more operationally efficient. They're using tools to generate content, to automate communications and reviews, to help with data analysis. So I think there's going to be a lot of new things entering and things to keep an eye on. I think we're also going to have to keep an eye on how is it going to be regulated in the future. Last year, we saw California, maybe last year too, where they implemented the junk fee laws, right? Which had a pretty big impact across the industry for those that advertise and market in California. And California is now the first one to pass a law saying that if you have a chatbot that's going to influence a customer's decision, that you have to disclose that. So paying attention to those things, what regulations are coming into play is going to be really important in 2025. But I think understanding that it's an emerging technology. It's young in our space. And to your point, you should be investing. We're seeing market research suggesting that 50% of companies or more are going to invest in AI in 2025. So I think whoever is choosing to invest needs to make sure that they're picking the right solutions that are going to make sense and lend themselves to a lot of that automation, which is where you find a lot of that value in AI.
I heard one person say recently in AI technology, they were like, this saves at least $45,000 a year. And of course, I said, show me. I want to see how that saves. And he did. He actually said, okay, here is the salary. And they weren't expensive. Here is the salary for the person that's currently doing this. Now we're doing it this way. And it's not that we're trying to get rid of people. They actually were able to hire that person to go into another part of their business because they didn't need them there anymore. So I thought that was really remarkable redistribution of your people as assets along with your financial assets in order to save time and money doing this. Chad, is there anything else you want to mention about 2025 to vacation rental managers?
I would say to your point, don't be afraid to try this. Even before you invest in a solution, we talked about just even being able to interact personally with some type of AI solution, even in your personal life outside of your business first to get comfortable, because I think that really is how you'll see it come to life even for yourself. And you'll be able to make those connections that you just mentioned in a business sense and in your vacation rental business side of your life. I think it'll become very clear. It can be pretty fun too to see how easily a simple request that you make personally to an AI solution scale what you're asking it to do exponentially. Say, give me a different way to say this, or create an itinerary for me for my next hiking trip. And just to see it instantly pop in front of you and it'd be pretty close to what you would expect or would want out of the response. It's easy to then see how that experience for your guests could become a reality, or how you could save yourself some time in writing content for your vacation rental business or scale those things. So I would invite you, if you haven't had those types of experiences, even personally with AI, play around with that. It's, to your point, you might be a little bit behind, but it's easy to catch up. So especially now where there's a little bit more of a maturity in the space, I think everybody for the first couple of years would just say AI and it meant any number of things to any number of people. But now
That's true.
some actual solutions in the marketplace, what we're trying to do and what others are trying to do. So now is a really great time to jump in.
And I want to encourage you guys that are listening. I'm sure that Chad and Justin, even if you're not using their products, it doesn't matter. I'm sure they're happy to talk to you about how this technology can be used in your business as a vacation rental manager. Am I right, guys?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So how would they reach out to you, Chad? How do they reach you?
Absolutely. So you can find me on LinkedIn pretty easily. I'd be happy to connect there and we can absolutely have a conversation on anything AI related or otherwise. And also you can just directly reach out to me. I'd be happy to share my email address. I'm chad.elmore@inhabit.com and easily reachable there.
And I promise you, these aren't hard sales, guys. These are just people. If you're using a different property management system, Justin, are you still happy to help them and talk to them about it?
Absolutely. That's the world I came from prior to shifting into product. And I think we get the most useful information directly from our clients about user experience and what's working and what's not. So yeah, we want to hear what clients have to say. We want the ideas. We want to hear them. So I'm similar to Chad, especially in this role. Reach out directly, justin.dahl@streamlinevrs.com. Happy to talk more about any of these features that we've recently implemented or any ideas for the future, right? Because again, we're building and we're innovating and we're trying to see what the next big thing is as well.
And guys, you'll be talking to people that are actually changing. They're changing products. They're changing the face of digital marketing and products. So please don't be shy. And I'll say one more thing, and that is if you have any questions and you don't know where to start, you're welcome to reach out to me as well. But the people that come and talk to us on the Vacation Rental Show, they are so happy to share their knowledge. And there is so much knowledge to be had. So please reach out to these guys. And I'm just going to say the next year, I know that what you guys are doing, I've heard some of the back end stuff that blows my mind. I am really excited to see where we're going to be in 6 months. And if you're looking for a platform, they've got ideas on platforms too. So guys, thank you so much for being with me. Now, before I go, I'm going to turn this around because you guys don't, and you may have your own vacation rentals, but tell me your favorite vacation rental manager story, because you both dealt with vacation rental managers. Justin, I'm going to put you on the spot. Tell me your favorite.
I like to tell a story that's not actually from me, but somebody that I work very closely with was staying out actually in your neck of the woods, and they had checked in and got a virtual check-in, right? So they had their key code that was in their phone. And when they went to go into the unit, they left their phone in the car or something got mixed up. And so the car was locked without their phone and they couldn't get into the unit and they were stuck for a bit, but they had their computer. And so they were able to log in and make a phone call from their computer and have somebody, help them get into the unit. It's funny because you talk about AI and that's one of those places too, where it's like, you still need to have that human touch available, right? For those situations. So make sure that you're appropriately staffed as they were. But I always think it's funny because we are becoming so dependent on technology, but every now and then it can get you stuck, right? So, but
So, yeah.
pretty funny one.
The last time I was out, we weren't able to stay at all in our vacation rental. Usually I go in the winter and I winterize it and make sure it's all taken care of. I didn't this year. I had a lot of things I was doing personally. This is a funny story. It's very similar. So I went to my house to get in. I couldn't remember the code to get in. And I had to call Rochelle. I said, "What's my code?" She said, "I don't know, but here's a code that'll get you in any house." So thank God we have technology to help us as well. I did
Yep.
have my phone. Chad, what is your favorite property manager story? You've met a bunch of them, I know, with the conferences and things.
Yeah, no, I think the one that sticks out recently was at the Irma Spring Forum. I went to a session that was actually property manager horror stories. And this was one from a property manager. It was down on the Gulf Coast. And so all the properties are, reinforced for hurricane conditions. And also many times there are properties that look very similar, right? Or you have a row of units that are almost they're identical. And got a call one time from a college-aged guy who was saying, I tried to get in, the code didn't work, and I tried to just open the door, kind of force the door open, and I ended up taking the whole door frame out. So he had sent a picture and he was standing next to a door, and there was the entire steel frame around the door laying, on the ground. And they were like, the code just didn't work. And then it come to find out that not only did the code not work, but it was the unit next door they were supposed to get into. So we had one unit who was going to be, occupied just within a few hours. Somebody was coming and the whole frame was gone out of the door, stayed locked, but he had forced the whole frame out of the structure.
Well, that was innovative.
You really
Yeah.
wanted to start that vacation.
I don't know. I want to know how that happened. Like, did he pull it, or I'm not sure, but that was crazy.
That was definitely paid for. That's going to be in Brady Stump's area because that's insurance is going to have to pay for that one.
Well, what's great is that whatever lock manufacturer that was, what a great advertisement, right? The lock stayed locked.
Yeah. I love that. I was telling a story to my sister about, I had a property manager on about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and she was telling us a horror story like this. And Rachel said, "No, that happened to me. That's my story." I said, "No, it really isn't." She said, "No, you're confused. That's my story." I said, "Believe it or not, it's obviously a common thing." So I think a lot of these things that happen to us as property managers, we see other people that have the same thing happen. So, well, thank you guys for being with us. I'm really grateful for your time. I look forward to having you back in 6 or 7 months when some of these new things launch. Maybe right before Streamline Summit next time, you could come on and share some of the tea so that everybody we want to come because of XYZ. But please listen to what Chad said and to Justin. Don't be afraid of this, guys. This is not something that's going to take you a year to implement. You're not going to have somebody that's 18 years old to do it. This is something that is built into the systems that you have, and it's meant to be easy. The other thing to keep in mind is what Chad said. Guys, it takes a while to build this for your own voice. Like Justin said, it needs to be personalized. These things are AI, but they're personalized to your voice. Get on the train sooner than later, guys. Don't wait, because I can guarantee you that your competitors are not going to be waiting. They're not. So go for it.
Right.
Thanks again, guys, for being with us, and I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having us, Lynell.
All right, I'll
Appreciate it.
see you in about 6 months.
You bet.
Great.
Can't wait.
This episode of How We Grow was brought to you by Streamline. To find out more about how Streamline can help grow your vacation rental business, visit streamlinevrs.com. Make sure to search for How We Grow in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found, and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. On behalf of the team here at Inhabit, thanks for listening.